Hello, everybody, and welcome to my channel once again. It's been a minute since I have one of these live videos, which I took a little bit of a break, but it's good to definitely be back. So if you're tuning in to this live video now, please let me know where are you listening in from. What are you trying to apply for this season? You know that Erasmus Mundus Joint Masters fully funded programs are now opening, and you know what, it is going to be quite the crazy ride between now and perhaps January or February if you're trying to apply for an Erasmus Mundus Joint Masters program. So please let me know where you're listening in from. What question do you have about this? If you're listening to this much later, obviously please make sure that you can leave your comment on the comment section below, so that I can get on it. I can answer you depending on what question it is. Please also join in the group on Facebook on Kenya Erasmus chapter, where you can ask questions as well. You can interact with all the information that has already been shared on there, so that you can get accustomed to what exactly is it that you need to apply for any Erasmus Mundus Joint Masters program. Obviously, I am so grateful for the community that we have grown over the time on this channel, obviously, due to the fact that we've had lots of people coming in to speak about their experiences, sharing how their experiences were in terms of the application, so far how it's been for them being in Europe, studying, etc., Kenyans, Nigerians, all these kind of people, all the videos that have been on this channel. Really, I'm really grateful for the community that has been on this particular channel. And you know what? Today is no exception, because we really have a fantastic guest. Believe me, this guy has went through the whole application process. He went ahead and shoot his shot on one of those programs that perhaps you've never heard of. It's International Master in Sustainable Drug Discovery. This guy is from Kenya, so he has been already studying for 1 year and now is on his second year, and has been able to go through into Europe and experience the culture, experience the study, the institutions, make new friends, etc. He's always on there, hashtagging, I'm here today. Today I'm in Poland. Next day I'm in Brussels. Next day I'm in France. He is currently in France. His name is Kevin Kimaiyo, and Kevin Kimaiyo is the current program representative for Erasmus International Master in Sustainable Drug Development. So please help me welcome him right here. Hi, Kevin. How are you?
Hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. It's so nice to finally be here.
Great. Welcome to this channel. This channel is really just a platform to, help people understand that, hey, you know what? This can be done. We were able to apply for these programs, and we got it. And so I'm very proud of you, obviously, having applied for this. And it's been 1 year, right? So how has it been so far? Let me just ask you, where are you right now?
Yeah, well, currently I am in France, in the University of Lille, um, in my third semester, and I will be here for the next 1 year because I'll be also conducting my research here. So that means for the next close to 1 year, I'll still be here in France.
Oh, amazing! So it's going to be a whole 1 year in France, and obviously, maybe you can tell us where you were from in the previous semesters, because it's been a whole journey, right?
Yeah, sure. So first, when I came to Europe, the first country of entry was the Belgium, in accordance to the program structure. So I started in Belgium in the University of Ghent. This is where I had my first semester until December and January, and then February I moved to Poland in the Medical University of Gdansk, where I was there for several months, around 5 months in my second semester, sorry. And then Currently, now I am in France, where I will be in my third semester, and where I'll also conduct my research, that is my master thesis, here in France.
Amazing, amazing to hear, obviously. And I mean, Kevin, it's been quite the journey, obviously. So I want us to delve into all the nitty gritties of how it's been, how it all started. So maybe you can introduce yourself. Who is Kevin Kimaiyo? So you are seated somewhere in Kenya thinking of, hey, I want to go to Europe. So who is, was, and is Kevin Kimaiyo?
All right, thank you so much, Nduta. So my name is Kevin Kimaiyo. You've already introduced me.
Yeah,
Yeah, so Kevin Kimaiyo is currently a scholar, and he's the current program representative of the International Master in Sustainable Drug Discovery. So currently in France and in Lille. So I studied in the university in of Moi, that is Moi University in Eldoret, that is the main campus,
yeah.
and I was there for quite some several years. It took me long to complete my studies, but finally I did complete the studies, and
Okay,
then I went into the job market directly. Before I even completed my uh, bachelor's, I was already in the job market, so I just rejoined the job market, and then after that, I did I did switch from the one job market to another before
okay.
I found this exciting opportunity, which I then applied for, and I got in.
Okay. I mean, obviously, some people might be curious. What exactly did you study in Moy University? I mean, I was almost saying the Moy University, whichever the case, it's the Moy University. So, what did you study in Moy University?
Yeah, so in Moi University, I did a bachelor's in science. That is, it encompasses the chemistry and biochemistry, but
Right.
it purely focused on chemistry. So it cut across all the disciplinaries of chemistry, I would say
Okay.
so. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, amazing! And then, so you finish your bachelor's, and then you go into the job market. In Kenyan job market is quite something. If we were to talk about that, it would be the whole day. So, which is the first job market you went to before you said you switched to another job market?
Yeah, so I conducted my internship, I would say, in Kenya Electricity and Generating Company, KenGen, as all of you may know.
Yeah.
And after my internship, I went into institutional school laboratory, where I did there was some laboratory management, and help scholars conduct some practices and researches. And then from there, I moved from the institution directly into the company. So I joined GSK, as you may know,
Right.
uh, for an year and 2 months. And then I got this exciting opportunity. I was like, okay, now it's time for me to move from the industry again back to school.
Okay. And had you been looking for scholarships all this time, or you are just, kicking it and wondering what's next? The job market in Kenya is not easy for sure. So, were you looking to further your studies? Were you actively looking for scholarships all this time?
It's every scholar's dream to further in studies. And
Okay.
in my bachelor's, I had been so much interested in furthering my studies, and I really wanted to do a master's. I really wanted to do a PhD, and in the
Okay.
long run, be a doctor or a professor. And that was my long term dream when I was in my bachelor's. Yeah, so when I was in my bachelor's, I did some connections. I did have a mentor
Okay.
we shared a lot. He was doing his PhD, his doctorate,
Yeah.
and so we
Okay.
shared a lot. And he actually motivated me to even further in studies.
Okay.
So when I finally completed school, I started looking for some opportunities. But then the fact that I was in the job market, it's usually tempting to to make a decision whether you want to further studies or whether you want to continue in the job market. Yeah, so when I actually switched to GSK, it's the moment where after being introduced to the market, you're exposed to different disciplinaries, and then you're tested, your skills are put to test, and then that's when you actually realize, am I really skilled enough, to be in the job market, to further in the job market, to go from one level to another. So I felt the gap in between, and that actually prompted me to even give me a push to move back to school, and look for more knowledge, skills, equip myself, make myself valuable for the job market. Yes, so I looked for several opportunities, and locally in the continent of Africa, I had some several opportunities, and just before I joined, before I was accepted in this program, I had already been
Right.
accepted in another program, in that is a UNICAF, to do a master's in data science. But I
Okay.
mean, it was the application was still pending, because I mean, I was hesitant on making the move, because
Okay.
yeah, it's a switch from science to data science. So I wanted to look for more opportunities that really fit with my background. So yeah, so this is when now I found this opportunity, I applied for it, gave it
Okay.
my all, and I got in.
I mean, and did you find the Erasmus opportunity online? Because obviously this has been a journey of you wanting to get better, to further your studies, etc. So did you find Erasmus online? Did someone tell you? Did a mentor tell you that, hey, there's an opportunity here? Or how was it like? Obviously, so
The good thing with investing in networking is that it always pays. So
yeah,
when I informed my mentor, actually he was the one, he was the one who actually sent me the brochure of
okay,
the program itself, and he said, you know what, you've been wanting to pursue drug discovery, drug development. So here is a very great opportunity for you, and I think you really have a good shot at it. So why don't you go for it? Because the good
okay,
thing is that I had already expressed myself. I had already expressed my plans to my mentor. So it's the moment where you say, fate meets destiny. So I
yeah.
knew I was sent by my mentor the opportunity.
Absolutely amazing. So it's good to hear, guys. If you're listening to this, obviously, it's something that I always keep saying on this channel. It's important to speak to people who might have already gone through the program or who have already, some sort of experience, and they can really guide you through or, walk you through some of these steps. And I mean, it's amazing to hear that you actually got this information from a mentor. So if you're listening to these guys, it's always important to actually liaise with the networks that you have. You're as good as your networks. I mean, it's very clear here that your networks really worked for you. So now you are putting yourself into a process of applying. So you get to know about this opportunity. Your mentor has given you this brochure, and you're like, you know what? I think I have nothing to lose, so I'm just gonna go ahead and work myself right into it. So could you please take us through the application process? How was it for you? Um, in terms of you preparing documents, in terms of you, writing a statement of purpose, etc. And how was it? Just the general application, really. How was it?
Well, the process is usually tedious, tedious process, I would say so. And it's really where you get tested on whether you still want to do it or not. So it will put you to a couple of challenges. It will put you through, the road again, where you have to, get the relevant documents, get your documents notarized, get your documents, legalized by the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Again, this is the point where you check whether your CV is updated. We don't really put so much effort in you know adding some great opportunities, or adding some great value to our CV that can really market us. So it was a very tedious process. I would say so. And writing the statement of purpose, it's another thing that really you have to think, you have to strategically write it, you have to express, you have to nail it for you,
Right.
for it to actually be given a shot at being read by the coordinators, or the interviewers. Yeah.
Right. Right. Okay. So, I mean, so I'm sure that you took a little bit of your time to take, yourself through and familiarize yourself through the website. And I really just quickly want to share this website so that if you're listening to this and you want to actually apply for this particular program, the program that we are talking about on this session today is the International Master in Sustainable Drug Discovery. And if you can be able to see my screen right here, this is particularly a program that has been open for quite a bit of time here. And so I would like you, Kevin, to take us through what were some of the things that you really had to go through on this website so that you can be able to understand one, the program, the requirements, and also just general application process. Because I mean, I'm sure the information is right here on this website, so perhaps maybe you can take us through which were some of the most important things that you checked through.
Yeah, so the most important thing to actually look into is, first you need to check the first thing actually when you have a program, or maybe an exciting opportunity presented to you, you first check whether are you eligible or not. So you have to go through the eligibility process. You have to check the requirements. Do you really satisfy the requirements? Do you really meet the basic minimum, or the bare minimum that it's required for you to actually have a shot at this program? So it's really very critical for you to check the eligibility, check the requirements, read it carefully, understand everything, and then from there now you can be able to plan. You can be able now to arrange the proper documents, based on the requirements that have been provided for you. So first
Right.
I went through the very first thing that I had to go through is what the program is all about. What is it offering to me? Is it really what I really wanted to? It has to, meet the expectations that I want myself. So yeah, of course, I went through the program, what it's all about. I read the structure of the program. How is this program structured? The fact that it's even structured that you will have some courses at different universities in different countries. So what are they offering? So these are things that really I needed to check. I needed to know whether this program is for me. So when I went through that, I checked the eligibility. I checked the requirements that are provided in the website. And from there, then I was able to make an informed decision on whether to go or not.
Right. And guys, if you're listening to this information, you can find it right on the homepage of this program. So as you can see here, the SDisco program is a 2-year full-time master's program that is conducted in 4 European universities, which Kevin has mentioned that he's been already to Ghent, and University of Nask, as well as now the University of Lille, and also the University of Groningen. I would imagine that maybe some few people would choose between to go into either one of these ones, Lille or go to Groningen. And of course, it tells you also about the master's thesis, as well as the target students right here, which says that the candidates must hold a higher education diploma or in chemical, biological, bioengineering, pharmaceutical, or medical sciences. So I believe that this is sort of the information that you read through. And then obviously you mentioned something to do with your eligibility criteria, which is stipulated right here on how to apply, correct, Kevin?
Hello.
Yes. So the eligibility criteria that you mentioned about, you checked, whether you're eligible. So I would like you to take us through, obviously, into this. Like we have here the admission requirements. So I always get this question: people asking whether they are eligible for certain programs. And you mentioned something to do with eligibility that you had to check. And I mean, I would imagine that you can find this information in right this tab, correct? The application tab, as well as how to apply, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And so, what exactly did you check right here? In which documents were you, did you take time to maybe prepare and so on and so forth?
Yeah, so after checking the eligibility criteria, so as stipulated that the course is offered to people people who've had background in pharmaceutical sciences, the chemistry, biology, as it's already stipulated there. And then first you have to be someone who has completed the higher education and you've attained a diploma, and the degree actually is equivalent to at least 180 the European credits, or even higher. Yeah, so I know it's something that we Kenyans are not used to, so you don't know whether you really meet the cutoff, that is you are above 180 or you're below 180.
Okay,
So you have to really check, and also it's something that you really need to check that in that your transcripts, because they should be able to give the grades, they should be able to give the marks. These are the marks that will be able to help you at least uh, convert them and check whether you really meet the necessary GPA. So this is really important for you to check. So not forgetting that even if you've not completed your degree,
right,
it's really possible for you to apply, uh, uh, but as long as that by the time you're graduating, by the time before you join the SDisco Master, you have your you have your transcripts ready, you have at least your certificate ready. So
right,
this is not only for those who've already completed, but also those who are in their final year of studies, you can also apply. So what you need to have is you need to have your diploma certificate, you need to have your transcripts, all of them, and then they should be able to have the proper grading. They should be able to have the marks that will be able at least be easier for their interviewers to be able to to convert them and see whether you really meet the cutoff point. Um,
right.
Again,
And
what
yeah, sorry,
what I
sorry to
can.
cut you short a little bit. Could you please talk a little bit about the 180 ECTs and how you did the conversion, perhaps? Because you came from Moy University, right? So if you could speak just a little bit about that, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so it's actually different from different universities. The grading is usually uh, different, and so it's something that of course, it's something you Google. Um,
Okay.
you you Google, and then you try and do a conversion. It's different from for different countries. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So sorry.
Sorry, so I'm asking you how you did yours. So, for example, you got your transcripts from Moy University, and they were saying maybe a certain number of, units that you have done. You've been graded maybe A, B, C, D, E, depending on what the courses that this program is looking for. So, I was just asking maybe how you maybe converted. You mentioned something to do with conversion of GPA. So, if maybe that is something that you did, maybe you can share what you did, if you did it online on Google, or what exactly happened there.
Yeah, well, for my case, what I did is that I had help, so I had to get someone to really help me to do it and convert it and see whether I meet the cutoff.
Okay.
So I really didn't have any much information about the conversion, so I had to get some help from someone to be able to really translate it and convert and see whether I meet the cutoff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and so this person just really just took you through how to convert, and then you submitted this to the program, or you pretty much just filled in the form.
Yeah, I mean they helped me calculate it, and then from there I checked whether I met the criteria, whether I met the 180 ECTs. So they actually just did it for me, and then they gave me the information, and from there I was able to go further with the process.
Okay, perfect. I just want to clarify here, if you're listening to this, obviously, and you have seen this 180 ECTs or even higher, sometimes you can find 240 or even higher. Usually, in this case, as most in most cases, and I will say for various programs, obviously, things work different for each and every program. Usually, you can pretty much be okay to have this number of ECTs if you have at least completed a 3 or 4 year degree course. However, obviously, depending on the program that you are applying for Erasmus, then you should be able to check in whether they are checking some exact courses that you have completed, the number of hours that you have, studied those units in your university in Kenya, and this is specific for Kenya right here. And you can also be able to see whether maybe exactly they have some sort of conversion that is already there existent in the university, and you can use this. And if you have any further questions, you can always send an email to any one of the programs that you're interested in. And obviously in this case, the contact us page usually is your best friend right here, so you can always go on the contact us page. And in case you have any questions, perhaps they might have already been answered. If, for example, like on this program, you do have frequently asked questions right here, and you can be able to ask exactly what maybe you're struggling with, or maybe you can find an answer already, or you can even listen to some webinars. Sometimes most of the programs will have some webinars on how to apply, what they're looking for, etc. And as Kevin mentioned here, right, you need to be very keen on the admission requirements, and the admission requirements are your make or break. And he mentioned something to do with your degree certificate. You would need your CV. Usually, it is preferable in Europass format for most programs, even including this one. As you can see here, the Europass format CV is pretty much free to complete. I've spoken about this on this channel. Your copy of your bachelor's certificate, your transcripts, as you can see here, official university transcripts, your letter of motivation, and your copy of passport. If you don't have a passport, honestly speaking, and you want to study abroad, I don't know what you're doing in your life. But these are some of the requirements that you really do need. They are in most cases generic requirements. However, we also have some programs asking for an English language test. So now I want to actually talk about that, Kevin. I don't know whether you did have to do a certification of proficiency in English, or you got a waiver, or how did that work for you? And I also want to have a question about also the fact that you had to go to the Belgian, embassy to attest some of your documents. If you can speak about those two things.
Yeah, so in regards to the English proficiency, of course, it's a requirement that you really need to have. It's actually stipulated there. You
Yeah.
need really to have it. So some of this English proficiency is you have to get at least the IELTS. Some of them the TOEFL,
Yes.
with the points being awarded, I mean the cutoff points being awarded. So for example, the CERF, that is the European framework
Yes.
reference, at least a bare minimum of B2 level. For the IELTS, at least the minimum proficiency is points, at least you have 6. For the TOEFL, I think the minimum is at least 87. And the rest, of course, when you actually get into the process of application, and when
Yes.
you already have your account, because when you apply, when you check that you've really met the criteria, you
Yes.
create a Jugend Oasis account by clicking the apply now tab, and
Okay.
then from there you can access a registration form where you can now fill your online application form prior to submission. So
Right.
it is in this part of the application process that now you can check the various English requirements where you needed to provide a certificate. So
Okay.
based on the English proficiency test that you've done. Probably you've done the online test, probably you've done the physical test. Also, depending on where you've applied, on which one you've actually done the test, then
Yes.
there are very many selections on options that you can pick that matches your specific test.
Okay.
So um, also, what just to point out is that some may provide certificates saying that they've been issued for English taught courses or programs,
Okay.
and you find that there cannot be an alternative an alternative for the proof of proficiency. So I think if you really want to do a master's, if you really want to study abroad, not actually necessary for this program, but any other scholarship, but it's really necessary for you to ensure that at least you've done the test, and also just to, if you really feel that maybe you can ask the consortium.
Yes.
You
Absolutely.
can actually ask the consortium and check whether they really need the proficiency, or whether what you can provide is really sufficient
Yeah.
to act in place of the certificate of proficiency. So I think it's really also program based. You really can ask your consortium, you really can tell them your situation, and then they can give you a green whether to go on or not, whether to look for an English test. Yeah.
Absolutely. Agree. All right. So I want you to take us through the next step where you said, there was a few documents that you needed to attest in the Belgian, embassy. Was this after you applied, or it was, before you submitted your application?
Yeah. So having checked the requirements, they specific the requirements specifically state that you have to get your documents legalized. You have to get your documents notarized. So immediately I applied.
Yes.
I made the first application, and then I was able to move forward now to the second phase of the process of application. So this
Yes.
is where now it was stated clearly that you have to legalize
Right.
all your documents. You have to legalize your certificate. You have to legalize your transcript
Yeah.
and any other academic document. So it is in this step now that I was able now to visit the Belgian embassy, and it was quite a process. It's actually a step-by-step process. You don't go anyhowly, because you first need to go to the Ministry of Education, where your academic credentials are actually checked by a quality assurance specialist. It
Okay.
takes actually a day,
Yes.
24 hours. So you submit it, and then you pick the following day. And then
Okay.
from there now, after you get your documents checked by the Ministry of Education, you go to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, where also they can be able to be checked, and you given actually a go ahead. There's a document that released from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs that gives you a go ahead to apply to go further with the application process. And then from this is now where when you go to the Belgian embassy, because I mean you cannot you there's no way you can bypass the Ministry of Foreign Affairs before going to the Belgian embassy, because they need to check whether the ministry has really given you a green light to notarize or legalize the document. So yeah, so that's the process I actually followed. And you find that some may prefer to use lawyers, some may
Yeah.
prefer to use other uh, you know uh, law I mean
modes of
modes of yeah,
yes,
modes of
exactly.
notarizing.
All
Yeah, so
right.
for me, I was actually to I actually went to the Belgian embassy, and the process was quite smooth, and they may take time, but just be patient. It's a
Absolutely.
very tedious process. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely agreed. And guys, if you're listening to this program is certainly open. It's been open for quite a long time, since July, and the online application submission deadline is on the 1st of December this year. And after that, they definitely give you the timings where you would be able to do an online test and interview as well, and the final selection of applications. Admission letter should be potentially given by the 2024 January of 2024. And if you're also interested in doing a self-funded program, then this is a provision that has been there even for all other programs. Honestly speaking, we do have a self-funded opportunity for which if you are selected, and maybe the scholarship network tells you that have been selected and given a self-funded opportunity, this is something that you can definitely go for. The information about self-funding is available pretty much on all the scholarship websites. And in case you also have a question, you can always ask a consortium. Now, as you can see right here, if you apply for this program, then you would need to indicate that you are applying for an Erasmus Plus scholarship, which means that you do not necessarily have to apply to the institution separately, because this is a question that I always actually get this question, whether when you apply for the scholarship on this website, then you have to do a separate application on the institution website. No, 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 no. And in any case, like Kevin mentioned here, when you start applying for this program, it will redirect you to the Ghent University. I would believe that this is the coordinating institution where you're able to create an account. Am I wrong, Kevin? Maybe.
Yeah, okay. Ghent University is the coordinating institution. So this
Right.
is this is the main platform where you send your applications, and you can be
Absolutely.
able to. It's actually self explanatory. It's self guided. I mean, you don't need to struggle a lot. It's really user friendly and guided. So you will be able to manage the process.
Yes, absolutely. So, guys, if you have issues to do with funding, you can be able to read through and see all the information that is right here. So, I would encourage you to just go ahead and read everything, including the news, the student life. You can be able to also speak to people who've been there before, and the application is pretty much straightforward. So, if you're listening to this right now, it's at the right time. We are in October, barely in November, so you do have some bit of time for you to apply. And I just want to stop sharing here and ask you, Kevin, how long did it take you to apply for this program? I mean, I would imagine it took you quite a little bit of time in terms of, preparing the documents, preparing yourself psychologically, even maybe having someone check through your application. How long did it take you?
All right. Yeah. So for me, it was quite a very short period to act, and the adrenaline kicked in, and I had to really act profusely. So
Yeah,
I started applying this program in late January. Because it's the first cohort, it's the first time this program was being offered,
yeah,
because it recently received the funding and approval for the program. So the application was rather delayed, and the applications were open towards the end of December, and therefore I found this opportunity later on in January, where
right,
uh, I started my application. So I had a period of actually 1 month to really send in my application. So actually it was less than 1 month, because by the 28th of February I was supposed to have submitted my first documents. So really I had to act first, and really I rushed because I had the time. Though it's really critical also for you to take some time to really apply, because you know it's good to have all your documents in place. And also
Yes.
there's a requirement that you have to merge your documents in one PDF. You have
Oh yeah.
to ensure that certain documents are really in one PDF, in one PDF folder. So take time to really plan. What I really would advise those who are really applying is that first you have to
Yeah.
think through the whole process and then strategize. And then after you strategize, execute.
Yeah.
So it will be easier for you to it will take you a very short period. So that's what I actually did. I sat down, I thought about the whole process of application. I
Right.
strategized because I had a very short period of time to act, and then I
Yes.
executed. So I needed to know where are my referees, who are my referees, and how available are they.
Yeah.
It's critical for you to know. And also, is your CV ready? For example, it's actually also good to know that when you're applying for these Erasmus programs, the Europass CV is preferred. So you need to really also prepare your CV, prepare in a Europass format, though. And also your transcripts. And some I mean, some students usually they don't go for their certificates immediately. So
Yeah.
when an opportunity comes in, you find that, oh, I need to rush and pick my
Rushing.
certificate in my university. So
Yeah.
if you really want to study abroad, you really have to take time to invest in your plannings. You really have to
Absolutely.
put your documents in place, because when an opportunity hits, then it's the right moment for you. So for me, I was just ready. So when the opportunity came, I exploited. I mean, I just took the grace, took the better part of it. So
Okay.
uh, I would say I really reached out to my referees. I
Okay.
sent them the documents that really wanted it, because there's an application, there's a recommendation form that the consortium offers. So
Yeah.
it requires of your referees to fill in, to write a recommendation letter for you,
Right.
and to check with them. Yeah,
Okay.
so check with them, make sure that you are in sync, so that the referee doesn't say otherwise of you. So also, it's good to ensure that you have referees that can really stand up for you, and can really recommend you for such great opportunities. Yeah, so in a period of less than 1 month, I was able to put all the documents in place
Yes.
and send in my first application.
Wow, absolutely. So 1 month it can be enough. So if you listen to this, you really do have 1 month actually between now and the time that you need to submit your application. And I'm just gonna go back to that timeline right here. As you can see, this application period began back in July, 24th of July, and the deadline is going to be the 1st of December. So you can really put yourself in Kevin's shoes and get his mojo. And 1 month on, you can definitely hit submit for your program. And I just also want to quickly share the recommendation letter form that he was speaking about. You will definitely find it here. And this document in PDF format should be emailed to this email right here by the two reference persons that you will be able to speak to. And in this case, I just want to chime in here and mention that please make sure that the reference people, or the referees rather, that you're choosing are people who know you and can put in a good word for you, because you just don't want to go and find a lecturer from time memorial and ask them to recommend you, yet they don't know you very well. I don't know how it was for you, Kevin, obviously, but this is something that is very common with people about rushing the very last minute. They really don't know whether the lecturer or potential supervisor is going to say yes to recommend them. How was it for you? You had some mentors already, you are already set, you're like, yeah, let's go for it, is it?
A wise man said that
Yeah.
when you exit a door, don't bang it, because you never know whether you might come
Oh,
back.
yes.
Yeah. So when you exit a company, when you exit your previous workplace, make sure you have exited in a proper manner so that at least those people can put in a good word in your next employment.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I took really keen. I took the advice really seriously, and so wherever I went, of course, in my university, I want just to point out that make sure you have a good rapport that they can really put in a good word for you.
Yes.
I just pointed out earlier on that I had a mentor. Yeah, he's
Right.
one of my professors who really taught me during my bachelor's.
Yes.
So I was able to contact him because he was the one who sent his application my way. So he was really there to be with me all the way till I he ensured I actually got this position. Yeah, I mean, he was able
Wow.
to work with me through the way, even during the interview process, which I will later on speak about.
Yes.
We He actually mentored me. He coached me on how to really present yourself during the interview. Yeah,
Okay.
and also in my previous workplaces, for example, I mentioned that I was in the Kenya Electricity and Generating Company. I also had a few colleagues there whom we really worked with, and I really did a good job there, and I was able to reach them, and they were very willingly to put in a good word for me, and also send in the recommendation form in time. You know, some of these referees is that you can send them the application, the reference form, and then they will take, you know, maybe a week or two to, you know, write the form, and you don't have really the luxury of time. So
Yeah.
I had 1 month, so I had to make sure that within that 1 month, I had to get my referees, fill in the recommendation letter, and send them to the SDisco committee. And
Yes.
so I think they responded in 1 week. Everything was set, and
Yes.
you have also to liaise with them. You have to make sure that whatever they said is actually good. You know, it's really good to know. Otherwise, they might be the people who will disappoint you. That's why I say
Absolutely.
you should exit the door in a very proper manner.
Absolutely agreed. I mean, it's important not to burn bridges wherever you go, really. You never know these people who will be of help to you much later. So now I want you to talk about a little bit about your mobilities, and maybe we can begin from you doing the interview because obviously you've applied, you have hit submit button, you've waited, you've gotten the acceptance letter, you're excited, yet not yet gotten the acceptance letter. You have been invited for an interview, or rather, maybe you did the online test, you passed, and then now the interview. So perhaps maybe you can talk about how was your interview like, how was the experience like, and then obviously follow it up with what are you now studying, how has your mobility been so far, and so on.
Yeah. So after you really get the first go ahead, you prepare your documents. You start preparing the notarization process, and then uh, the next stage or the next phase of the process is that you're invited for an online test. This is to test you on various basic backgrounds. For example, in chemistry, they test you on basic background in data science. They test you on basic backgrounds in biology, because this is a pharmaceutical sciences course. This is a drug discovery course, so it will require of you to have a chemistry background, require for you to have a biology background, and also it requires you to have you know, at least a background in data science. And this is something I also wanted to point out. And it's something that also I discussed with okay, I just had a small chat with the ambassador of Kenya to Belgium, that is Bitang, Professor Ambrose Bitang Ndemo. So he is quite an IT guy, and something that came sufficed is that we should really, we as Kenyans and we as whomever it may be, we need to really you know, try to catch up with technology, try to catch up, because it's really revolving very fast. So
Yeah.
you need to have some skills in you know, in IT. You need to have some skills in programming. You need to have some skills in, you know, because this is something I will not lie to you. As you apply for the program, is that there will be programming skills required. And in the
Yes.
pharmaceutical space is that we are now shifting from, you know, handling a lot of this data. We're actually moving to big data. We're actually moving to green IT,
Yeah.
as I can say. So it's really important for you to have, data science skills, because also this will really, it's an added advantage when you're applying for this program.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, from 10 is now, so from that, you actually invited to select
Okay.
um, three scientific publications,
Right.
from three scientific publications on. Okay, for my case, we had an option of three scientific publications, but you
Okay.
will be invited to select one of the scientific publications. So you will be required to read this scientific publication and then summarize it and
Okay.
prepare slides on it.
Okay.
So, and then you will have a 5-minute presentation of the whole publication. So you can also tell that when you have 5 minutes of presentation, that means that you will not have a lot of slides to present. So you
Right.
really need to read, critically deduce the main points, deduce the key points of the publication, so that you can be able to present within 5 minutes. And
Okay.
within those 5 minutes, you present the paper, present the objective of the paper, the results, the findings, and the conclusion.
Yeah.
And after that, you have a question and answer session. So the
Yes.
presentation is 5 minutes, and then you have a 10 to 12 minutes of, Q
Oh,
and A.
wow.
So this is a
Yeah.
period. This is a moment where I
A make
tell
or
people
break.
that
Yeah.
you're meeting professors, you're
Yes.
meeting people from different background. And so for these cases that you will have professors from the coordinating university, that is Ghent University. You will
Yeah.
have professors from, Medical University of Gdansk. in,
Okay.
in in the interview process, you will have professors from, University of Groningen, that is in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
You will also have professor from the Lille University here in France.
Okay.
So they will be able to assess your knowledge based on your understanding of the paper, and they will also be in a position to assess you on a general knowledge of science, drug discovery and stuff,
Yeah.
pharmaceutical science, and
Okay.
also they will be able to assess whether you've been keen on
Yes.
following some things in the industry. So you also have to keep being updated on what's going on in the world.
Oh,
You
yeah.
need to be
Totally.
you need to be well informed. And
Yes.
so they will also be in a position to know who you are in person. Like, apart from your CV, we need to know you in person. So how can you present yourself? You
Yes.
need to sell yourself in these moments. You need to edify yourself in these moments. There
Mm.
are a lot of applicants, they don't have time for everyone. So
Yeah.
you really need to sell yourself in those few minutes. And
Yes.
so for my case, I was really prepared for it. And
Okay.
also build courage.
Yes.
Don't actually fear. This is your golden moment to shine. This is your
Right.
golden moment, because you actually passed the hard phase, and you are selected now for the interview process. That means that they saw something in you. So if
Right.
they were interested in you, then they need to know who
Yes.
is this person. And
Yes.
here they will actually, you'll be able to actually express yourself. You'll be able to express your interest, and edify yourself in this moment. And
Okay.
so after that, if you get a positive feedback from them, you selected for the program, then you'll be able to apply. And for the visa, they will send you emails to really prepare for the visa, which is a section that I'll also talk about later. And so the program itself is structured in a way that you will be able to have some courses uh, here in Ghent. So when you selected for the program, you will have a short period of summer school. So
Right.
before you even start your main program, then
Yeah.
you will have a
From
summer
school
school.
before.
Yeah,
Mhm.
a one
Yeah.
week summer school, where now because you're from different backgrounds, you will need
Yes.
to level up your competencies. Yeah?
Right.
as it stated earlier on, we pick people from, pharmaceutical background, we pick people from human and veterinary medicine, we
Yeah.
pick people from biotechnology. So these are people from a vast background and diverse background.
Right.
So this
Yeah.
this during this summer period or summer week is a period where now you level up. We know they need to know your strengths, they need to know your weaknesses, so that before the course begins, they will be able to at least know your strength and your weaknesses. So there
Okay.
will be a week where um, you will all be in a class. So in this week now, there will be just basic courses in chemistry, there will be basic courses in biology, there will be,
Yeah.
basic courses in scientific publications, and also there will be courses in translational medicine. So these
Okay.
are some of the courses. At least they will be able to give you some insights on, they'll be able to give you some basic background and courses, so that you may be able to level up and be at a platform where you will feel that, yeah, now at least I'm in a good platform to start the course.
Yeah.
Yes. After that 1 week, now you proceed to beginning your semester here in Ghent
Okay.
University, where
Yes.
now you'll be introduced to various courses, in regulatory affairs, in pharmaceuticals, and also, as you've seen in the master program, it's international master in sustainable drug discovery. So
Yes.
there's that element of sustainability, you know so this is a place where, in all the universities, the courses will be tailored to at least factor in the aspect of sustainability, which is a very
Yes.
important factor that, in the current field, in the current right now in pharmaceutical company, in research, this is
Yes.
an element that has been neglected for the past. And even you find that when drugs are being
Yeah.
developed, you find that this element is being discovered in the later stages of development, whereas it would have been in before we actually get to the development process. So yeah, the course will all the universities will have to give some courses on sustainability.
Okay.
Yeah. So and in
Right.
Ghent University, in Ghent University, you'll be introduced to some data science courses, and also some courses on sustainability, as I mentioned. And
Okay.
then from there now, all the students will be able to move to Poland,
Yes.
where they'll be able to be in the medical university of Gdansk,
Yes.
that is in Poland. And
Okay.
here the students will be introduced to courses in green chemistry, green analytics. They'll be
Yes.
able to be introduced to courses in off targets. In fact, so it's just drug discovery courses, and with aspects of sustainability being factored in.
Yes.
And so from there now, the students will have to make a decision on
Okay.
whether now to move to the University of Groningen, which is
Right.
in the Netherlands,
Yes.
or they will be able to move to University of Lille here in France. So the first two semesters, all the students will be together in Belgium. That is Ghent University, and
Right.
then from there, all the students will move to Medical University of Gdansk, and then
Yes.
from there now, you split up after University of Gdansk. So you have to make a decision on whether you want to go to the University of Groningen,
Right.
or whether you want to go to the University of Lille.
Right.
That is depending on what are your interests. What
Yes.
do you want to really learn, or what do you really want to get from this master program?
Yes. Okay.
Yes, so those are the mobilities. And then
Yes.
from there, we have now the fourth semester, because that was the third semester. So the fourth
Yes.
semester now, as you can already see in the website, we have some partner, apart from the partner universities, we have some partner companies which are contributing to also this course.
Okay.
So in the fourth semester now, the student, I mean, or those who apply, is that they will be able to have or perform or conduct their master thesis in any of these partner universities, or they can be able to conduct their master thesis in the companies, different companies. You can
Right,
conduct your master thesis anywhere in the world. I mean, you
right.
can go to the US, you can go to Japan, you can go to Asia, you can
Yes.
you can decide to come back to Kenya, you can go to to
Yeah.
Africa if you wish. Yeah.
Okay.
So the fourth semester, it's a
Yes.
master thesis where you can conduct your research anywhere. So
Right.
in the partner universities, in the partner companies, or
Okay.
in any place of the world that you prefer to do your master thesis. So those
Yes.
are the mobilities in a very uh, maybe
Brief.
comprehensive or very short way.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, guys, you can see on this particular website, I just reshared the website once again. So the mobility structure is very, very well stipulated right here. So you can be able to follow through and see what exactly will you be studying on in this particular program. So you can see exactly what is relevant for you. And like Kevin mentioned here, things to do with data intelligence, things to do with sustainability is a big thing on this particular program. Things to do with, new things about drug discovery, I should say. And this is something that resonates very well with this program. So you can definitely check that out. And obviously, for the semester four that he mentioned, that you have the opportunity to actually do your master's thesis in pretty much anywhere in the world, depending on the partnership that is there. I would imagine between the coordinating university or the coordinator of this program with other partners across the globe. So this is a fantastic opportunity. You can also be able to see the career opportunities that are available right there for you once you graduate, because believe me, you 2 years goes very, very fast. And I want to give Kevin a minute here. Before we can go to the next section, maybe he can take a cup of water. I don't know, but then if you're listening to this and you would like to go ahead and apply for this, you are listening to this at the right time. So make sure that you can follow through the very straightforward pointers that have been given by Kevin right here, and you can be able to check out and see whether this program is for you. If it is not for you, for sure, you can always share this information with someone else who could benefit from it. And once again, the Erasmus programs have been opening, one by one. They really do not open all of them at the very same time. So make sure that you're checking the deadlines for each and every one of the program that you're interested in. Believe me, it's not all programs that all open in October or in July, or every program has its own particular opening, its own deadline, its own stipulations, its own requirements, etc. So make sure that you are looking for this information on the website. It's very important for you to consume the fine print of each and every one of the programs, because it will matter in terms of your deadlines, in terms of the documents that you need to prepare, in case you would need to also check for any types of waivers. Like we mentioned here, usually a waiver for an English language proficiency test is not something that is guaranteed. However, you can ask a consortium whether they are able to actually waive it. If they say no, it's at their sole discretion. So make sure that if they say no, then you have some bit of time to book maybe for a test. If, for example, you need to book a test ahead of time, depending on the country that you're in, etc. So make sure that you're able to check for these things ahead of time, which is the reason as to why I keep saying that, hey, you know what, if you're not ready, if you find that maybe your documentation is not as ready enough for you to apply for any particular program, you can always apply for this come next year, because Erasmus always, is going to be open each and every year. A disclaimer here is that some of the programs might, yes, reopen. However, they might not have the Erasmus funding, like we have seen with some programs already this year. However, you can check for other funding opportunities that are stipulated on any particular program website and be able to follow through and see whether this is something that you could be able to shoot your shot for, or if you can be able to do a self-funded program, then this is something that you can also read about. It depends obviously on the country that you're going in. For example, maybe if it's your first country and maybe they need a blocked account with some sort of funding, showing that you can be able to take care of yourself during the period that you'll be studying there. At the same time, also, you should be able to show that you can cater for your tuition fees, your insurance, your health, etc, etc. This information is everywhere. It's on the websites. And the good thing about it is that you can always have access to the program coordinator. You can send them an email. You can check, for people who've already gone through this program, even online on websites like LinkedIn, on social media, Facebook, Twitter, depending. And you can really even listen to webinars that have been, put up by certain programs so that you can be able to understand exactly what is required of me for this particular program. But believe me, this is something that you can do if you put your mind into it, because it's not easy. It's a very competitive process, just like any other scholarship that you'll find out there. However, these are things that can be done. And believe me, you, Kevin, and I, as well as many other alumni, people and current students who've been on this channel, are an attestament to the fact that Erasmus is definitely possible. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter which country you're from. It is very much open. EMJMs are open to the globe. So that's the message right here. And I want to bring back Kevin, and so that he can tell us the fun stuff. I mean, we've been very serious about, the application procedure. We've been telling you, look for this information, these documents, etc, etc. And I want him to just come back and let us know about, how the transition was like. What are some culture shocks that maybe he found along the way? What are some of the learning curves that he's had? And before that, please make sure that you're also sending in your questions in case you do have them. I have a couple of questions that may have already been answered, but if you're listening to this right now, please put your question right there. And if you're listening to this much later, obviously go ahead and comment and let us know, any other question that you might have. So Kevin, welcome back. So let me ask you, so it's been a journey. Obviously, it's been 1 year, but, and we've spoken on the sidelines about this when you were coming over to Belgium. So how was the transition like? And, transition from Kenya to Europe, and maybe some culture shocks, some things you didn't expect, and you're like, it goes like that. Okay, so maybe you can let us in on some of the things that you have learned along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great transition, I can say. First you feel the excitement of, I'm coming to Europe. I'm finally in Europe. Yeah, they say it in Kenya, this slang. Niko maju. The maju
Mayolo. Yes.
mayolo. Yeah. So of course, it's actually an exciting opportunity to actually be on this other side of the continent. But also it comes in with challenges. I can say, and first you're in a very different part of the world where you're experiencing the four seasons of the four seasons: the winter, the fall, the summer and stuff. Yeah, so when we came, it was actually very weird in a way that when I just set my foot in Belgium, it was during the fall, and
Yeah.
darkness, the darkness started kicking in at around 6 or 7. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
no, I mean actually 4, and you're
Yes.
like, what is this place?
Daylight saving is over. Yes.
How am I mean, how am I going even to sleep? Because you used to sleeping at around 10, 11, and now it's dark here at 7, at 6, and you're like, do these people sleep at this time, or do they continue with business as usual? Yeah. So one of the things I just found here, because I just landed, and I had some couple of guys waiting for me, so we
Right.
went into this supermarket, and then this is the place where I found that, oh, they actually know people to help you, pack your things in
Oh,
the
sorry
bag.
about that. You have to do it yourself.
So yeah, so you have to do it yourself. And actually, it was very weird that you just walk in, pick your stuff and pay, and you pack it yourself and leave.
Yes.
Others, you don't really have even to go to the cashier. You just pay it via the machines and then you walk out.
Yeah.
So this is something that was really fascinating, and it was actually a change for me.
Yeah.
But more importantly is the way systems run here is
Right.
actually very different from what we have back in Kenya and Africa.
Yeah.
You find that for you to access various services, you have to book appointments.
Yes.
We are not used to booking appointments back. You just used to walk into the office and hey dude, would you sign this document for me? Would you do this for me?
Yes.
So I
Wow.
mean, here you have to book your appointment prior. So you have to, for example, you want to see a doctor, you want to see, a certain, you want to access certain services, you have to get appointments, and
Yes.
this was something I wasn't used to, honestly.
Right.
So it was a great transition to that. And also another thing was that okay, as I mentioned, is that the systems here really work. They really work pretty well,
Right.
and there's certain bureaucracy that you have to do things yourself. So
Yes.
independence is one of the things that you really have to
Oh
practice
yes.
here. Yeah,
Right.
so you have to be really independent, manage your life, manage your time. So again, these people respect, I mean, the people here respect time a lot, so you really have to be there in time. So if it's 7, it's 7.
Oh
Some
yeah.
some places don't open until it's 7, and some places close during this period. So you can go early, as we used to go in Kenya. Let's say for me to access this service first, I have to go a bit early. But
Yeah.
here, I mean, time is really an
Obviously.
element that they really take into account.
Right.
So also for I mean, also the how you maneuver here, you don't really have to someone to do it for you, so you do it
Yeah.
yourself. For example, if you want to move from one place to other, maybe you have to do it online,
Yeah.
and then you just access. Maybe it's a bus you want to move,
Yes.
it's a tram you want to move from one station to another. So it's something that really shocked me. I mean, I was like, oh, I have to book it and then go. So like
Yes.
the only place I actually did this, I think it was in Nairobi. Yeah, where you book your vehicle prior. Yeah, and then
Yes.
but then it was something that's it's not really common. But now
Yeah.
here it's the norm. I mean,
Yeah. That's
this is the norm. So we just have to fit in and blend in.
yeah.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
yeah, and also the food, the food situation. And now you're shifting. This is Europe, where now you have to diet. You have to diet. You're not used to the breakfast, the Kenyan breakfast.
Oh yeah.
There's a there's another world where you decide what you want. You cannot access the things that you really want, the what for disposal in Kenya.
Yeah.
So I think also those are some of the things that really struck me, and the fact that also the holidays here, they are well respected.
Right.
They really
Very.
value their holidays. So if it's holidays, they really are into it.
Yes.
We Kenyans, we never got used to this thing. So here you're
No.
like,
That's how it
okay,
goes.
okay. So there's I don't know whether the way movement and the okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But you look as if you're used to this. You are already accustomed into it. You're right into mashing up with the culture. Polish culture, Belgian culture, French
Mhm.
culture. I mean, I don't know which one you prefer so far, or do you even speak any one of those languages? I don't know.
Language is something that really as an Erasmus student, I've come to really enjoy it on, because you get to learn various languages. For example,
Right.
the Dutch language. For me, it was quite hard for me to learn the Dutch language. uh, Though it was fun. The Polish culture, the Dutch are the really civilized people. They very conservative.
Okay.
uh, they're just chill.
Right.
You do you, I do me. So
Yeah.
they're reserved people, and it's some. I really liked it in Belgium, honestly.
Right,
Though the language was not. The good thing is that they do really speak English.
right. Yeah,
So,
pretty much
in
almost
as much as
everywhere.
they have their Dutch, they speak English. And
Right.
so, when you move now to Poland, is where you get the shock
Okay.
because they don't speak English,
Yes.
and so
So how
you
did you
have
balance
to
there? Okay.
for you to blend in, for you to at least at least fit in, you have to learn some bit of Polish.
Right.
Great the greetings, asking for something, you know, have at least be able to strike a very simple conversation. Yeah, so the
Right.
Polish culture was fun. I mean, it was fantastic. It was a cozy place. I really liked it in Poland, but
Okay.
it was during the spring season and the summer because I
Oh,
I
you're lucky.
enjoyed my spring in Poland and I enjoyed my summer in Poland.
Right.
So I got to experience the two phases, which was really fun for me.
Yeah.
Because the sun was blooming, the
Right.
plants, and then the air was actually getting fresh because the plants were blooming, the flowers were blooming, and
Mm,
the air was now fresh. And
right. I mean, you got the
again,
best of Polish
I
land.
just
Oh,
got
yeah.
the best of Polish, and I
Yeah.
really enjoyed Poland. The culture was fun, and the good thing is that they were actually interactive. They were actually putting in
Right.
the effort. You find
Okay.
that in as much as they don't speak English, they're very interactive.
Okay.
They share. So you
Yeah.
actually talk to them, and they'll be open to share with you.
Wow. Okay.
And yeah, that was really
And now
fun.
French culture. French culture should be easy for you, I guess. I bet. No? Yes, maybe.
Uh the French actually are they're respectful,
Okay.
and they're really nice people,
Yeah.
and they're cool people.
Yeah.
And again, they don't have good English.
Okay.
So
Well,
their French accent overcomes their English. So you find that whenever you actually meet a French person, is that like my English is not good.
well,
So
you get that a lot of
you
that.
find it really hard for you find it really hard for here in French. Those
Yeah.
you just have to put yourself in their shoes and let's just let me for this moment let's just have this English conversation. I'll try to understand you and you try to understand me.
Right, right, right,
But
right.
in Poland, I think the Google Translator, it really helped us a lot.
Okay.
And those you had to use, but here in French at least you find there's not that much of a difference with Belgium. But the thing
Mm,
is, they don't speak much English. That is, but their culture is good. They value tradition. They value history
yes.
of their nation, and they're friendly. They are okay. So
Wow, amazing. So, I mean, Kevin, you have had a lot of experience. Obviously, this is something that maybe you write a book later, or maybe become an inspiration. Obviously, you're already an inspiration to several people across, even in Kenya, and anyone else who is listening in from Nigeria, from Ghana. The West Africans are always listening to this. If you're listening to this much later, obviously we know that it's a Friday, so if you're listening to this much later, please make sure that you can also interact with Kevin. I'm sure he is definitely very, very much available for you to go ahead and check chat with him. He's a program representative. He can always let you know what exactly to do in terms of applying for this master's program. So he is definitely very much valuable and very much available for you as a program representative. In case you do have any questions for him, please make sure that you can shoot your shot and send them to him, and he can give you an ins and out of this particular program. The program we are talking about today is the International Masters in Sustainable Drug Discovery, which is a master's that is still open for application. And I want us to delve in straight on to the questions right here. I had quite a number of questions already that were sent, and they were basically about, the application procedure, which we have really gone into already, and the eligibility criteria that we have already spoken about. And I believe there's no need of repeating those, those questions already, because we have covered quite a lot, even on the particular website that you need to go ahead and check in terms of application. It's very important for you to go ahead and also check the main catalog. And I'm just going to quickly share the main catalog that you need to share, to check always, so that you can be able to understand exactly what to apply for. The main catalog is called the EMJMD catalog, and this is the particular website that I'm talking about. Right here we have quite a lot of programs that are open, and in any case there are now 214 programs that have been added to this catalog, because there was also an update on this particular catalog just a few days ago, actually. So you can be able to see quite a number of programs. The thing that I want to make sure that you know is that there are programs that are not necessarily what we are used to, especially in Kenya, where we are used to, oh, I want to go and study an MBA, or I want to study an MSc in finance. Over here you will find the names of the programs are not necessarily what we are used to. For instance, you will see here there's Erasmus Mundus Master in Global Studies, Erasmus Mundus European Master of Science in Skin Health and Care, which is something that is very important nowadays. You will see things like children's literature, media, and cultural entrepreneurship. And the thing that you need to look into is always the program website, to see exactly what caliber of students they are looking for. What I can tell you for sure is that, for example, if maybe you had a background, an example of maybe you had a background in Bachelor of Commerce, and then you went to the market and maybe you worked in maybe an IT field, and you have this experience maybe for how many years, I don't know, 5 years or so. This is something that you can stipulate on your particular statement of purpose, ensuring that you are a good candidate for any one of the particular programs, depending on what eligibility criteria that you have seen. Most of the programs will accept students from various backgrounds as well. So this is the reason as to why, if you're listening to this and this is your first time going through this catalog, I would recommend for you to go one by one instead of using the filters here, because the filters sometimes are good, but they might not give you the right picture. So I would say the same way you scroll on social media, I'm using this loosely, but you can use this website and go through each and every one of the pages and identify which of the programs that you actually would qualify for. You can apply for, the programs, depending on the deadlines that are given. So make sure that you're also checking into that, and then be able to submit your application ahead of time without having to hurry the very last minute, because that's something that we do as Kenyans. Now, I just want to go straight on to the questions that are right here on this particular chat today. And one of the questions is, I want to know if you can still apply even though you're on your final or of another master degree. Kevin, do you know whether it's possible to apply for this master's in sustainable drug discovery as a second master's, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. You can be able to make an application and send in your application, regardless of your previous SB. You can also you can apply actually even if you've done a master's prior to this master program. So you're eligible to apply regardless of you having a master's or something. Yeah. So the thing
Yeah.
is, you okay, you can be able to apply when you're in your final year of application. You can be able to apply when you've already completed your bachelor's or your first diploma.
Yeah.
And also, you can be able to apply if you already have a master prior to applying for this master program. So it's very possible to apply. You really qualify for the application. Yeah.
Absolutely agreed. I actually did my Erasmus as a second master, so please make sure you can always shoot your shot. This is not something that is something that will exempt you. Does Erasmus has the undergraduate scholarship? Unfortunately, not for now. Can I use English proficiency certificate from university? I believe this is a question that you could answer, Kevin. whether they can use an English proficiency certificate from the university. This is something that you spoke about the waiver or something. But I believe for this program, you have to get the certificate, right?
Yeah, so for this program, actually, what they really want you to get the English proficiency certificate, and you cannot use a substitute from the university, or whether you have a certificate of or from your university. But
Yeah,
like I said prior earlier on, is that you can always consult the consortium, the coordinators, I mean the
yeah,
selection committee. You can
yeah,
always consult them and ask them if they could really take in. But just to put an emphasis, because it's really a question that has come up a lot. You just to be on the safe side, you can really do the English proficiency test and acquire your certificate, and then that way you'll not need to worry, because again, it will be your loss if perhaps that they don't really accept an alternative to the English proficiency certificate. So just to
right.
be on the safe side, it's good to really have the proficiency test certificate, and then you can really apply. And also, there's sometimes you find that in different nations that uh, they have institutions where they use them to certify them
Yeah,
in English. So it's different. It's a case by case situation depending
yeah,
on the country
yeah.
you come from. Yeah.
Agreed. All right. And someone says, I'm happy for you, Kevin. Obviously, this has been quite a journey, and, someone is applauding you there. So I just want to quickly go finally to the final thoughts here. And I mean, obviously, having come from Kenya and coming through to study within the European continent, it's been a big change, I would imagine, for the institutions. The way we study in Kenya is not the same way we study here in Europe. And I don't know whether you have already seen this before, but I mean, I'm sure you have. But what are some of the pitfalls that you potentially would have seen, now looking, into Kenya from the angle of having lived in Europe? What are some of the pitfalls that we as African students or even Kenyan students, have when we are trying to apply for scholarships or opportunities abroad? Because I mean, you are in these shoes exactly, because you are trying to find, yourself in a way where you can be able to study something different, study abroad, etc. What are some of the pitfalls that you potentially have seen so far, and how can we mitigate them as African students to be able to gain these opportunities abroad?
Okay, I think what I can say is something that really came up, and it's something that also got me thinking.
Yeah.
Is the question of where do you see yourself in the near future? So
Okay.
this is I would say the baseline of it. So where do you see yourself, for example, in 2 years? Where do you
Right.
see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? So this is something that will be able now to guide you in what steps you want to take
Yeah.
career wise, because career is not a game where you'll just you just play, say here, and I'll just play, I win, I fine, I lose, fine. So this
Yeah.
is something that you don't bet, I mean, you don't gamble with. So
Yeah.
you really need to be very sure of what you really want in life,
Okay.
where do you want to go in life,
Okay.
and that will guide the process of how do I get there.
Okay.
So you have to think,
Yeah.
you have to put you have to actually plan your life. So
Right.
we actually don't really take time to do that,
Okay.
and it's something that's affecting many of us, many of the young generation right now. we
Right.
don't we don't really take time to invest in our thoughts and our career plan. So
Yeah.
I would say this will really guide your process, it will guide you in applying even for the right course, because
Right.
as you've already mentioned, that you in the catalog we have very many courses.
Yes.
So you really need to select the course that actually fits you. Otherwise you're going to select a course and it will you will end up struggling
Yeah.
here in Europe, because the education system, I would say, so it's very different here.
Right.
and it's also another thing that you will shock you, I would say. So the
Tell me about
immigration
it.
is
Yes. Yeah.
intense, I would say.
Yes.
So
Very
so you
different.
really, it's very intense, so you can lose your mind, you can lose yourself. It's easy for you to have an something we call impersonation syndrome.
Yeah.
So
Imposter syndrome is it?
imposter,
Or
yeah, the imposter syndrome,
yes.
yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's really easy to fall into, I mean, to get affected with the imposter syndrome, because here you're exposed to, very many opportunities. So
Yeah.
which one do you really want?
Um,
That becomes the question. So in Kenya you're like, yeah, this is a good course, I want to do it. But then when you come here to Europe, you're like,
uh, yeah.
so we have these and these and these and these. It's
Yeah.
now it's a buffet of courses, of
Yes.
opportunities. So
True.
you really need to know which course, and then state your relevance, articulate your plan very well, and then this will guide you even in the application procedure, even in selecting the courses. And then
Absolutely.
take risks, because we don't really take risks, because you find that, okay, the application is very tedious,
Yes.
it's
Yes.
financial draining. This is one of the things that really wasn't mentioned before, probably. It's really
Yeah.
financial draining, so you really need to invest in what you want to be. Yeah, you
Yeah.
need to put in, you need to put some investment in, because the value that you will gain is not
Yes.
comparable to what you have spent for it. I mean,
Absolutely.
it will really pay. It will really pay. So be
Yeah.
risk takers. It's one of the things that we don't really, we actually don't want to put ourselves into the tedious process of,
Oh yeah.
let me just apply, let me have faith, let me have hope, let me, put these eggs in this basket hoping that they will hatch.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we don't take time to, we actually not risk takers, and you find that many people will drop off in the middle. So like
Yeah.
they in this application process, and you find that, oh, I think this is not for me,
Not
so
for
you
me.
just let it slide.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, but
Yeah.
I mean, if it really is for you, if you really planned and thought about it, then you will go all the way to the
Yeah.
end. So, it's
Absolutely.
one of the things that I find that many people don't really really take into account. And
Yeah.
also, another thing that I see in many Africans is that, and as I pointed it earlier on, is we don't take time to invest in, preparatory meetings. For example, like the meeting that we are having right now.
Yeah.
They're not being exposed to such information, because this
Absolutely.
information is very helpful. This
Yeah.
information, if it reaches you, it will help you in the preparatory process. you
Yeah.
know it's good to take time to listen into such kind of meetings. This
Yes.
way you'll get some insights on how you can go about studying abroad, because
Absolutely.
you'll have all the information. For example, like I said, I mean, the CV here, you prepare it in the Europass. When you
Yes.
ask someone, like when you just meet someone, do you know the Europass CV, they will even not know. But I mean, if you have been into such kind of meetings, then you'll be able to say, oh yeah, I had this Europass from a certain meeting, and it
Yeah.
has been, I've been able to really try to you know create a CV in the
Yeah.
Europass format.
Yeah.
So another thing is, also getting, having a coach or a mentor. It's really important, because
Right.
these are the people that will be able to guide you. These are the people that will be able to, even if they find opportunities, they'll be able to send them your way.
Absolutely.
So we should take time to at least be exposed to such kind of meetings,
Yes.
and uh, get engaged, and look for coaches, look for mentors in that field of career that you really eyeing.
Yeah.
And that way they will be able to guide you, because
Absolutely.
you're the next people in line. So
Yeah.
if they face out of this world, you are
Yeah.
the next people, so they have to be able to train people to pass on the baton to them, so which is this generation. And so when we face out, we'll be able to pass on the baton to others. So we need to get some mentorship, we need to get some coaching. And also, I remember when I was really in the interview interface,
Yes.
uh, I was able to be coached by my mentor during the
Okay.
interview process. For the interview process, I got a coaching from him. So
Right.
how to respond to how to respond to these people, because you're meeting professors. These are
Yes.
people who've been in this field for the entire career
Fine.
life. So
Yes.
they know the ins, they know the outs, they know everything. So
Yeah.
you need to really present yourself very well, and this you can only get when you get some coaching,
Yes.
you get some exposure. And I think lastly, I mean, last but not the least, I would say is we empathize the process.
Yeah.
You know, in preparation of this the statement of purpose, you know, some statement of purpose you can prepare and you can actually read them and you'll be like,
Yeah, I mean
do
that
you
is a make
really,
or break. It's your central focal point of your
you know, that's
yeah.
that's everything. Because
Yes.
the motivation letter, as far as I can tell, it covers 20% of your grading in terms
Right.
of, you know, selection. Because the academic credentials, all that covers 50%. The motivational letter covers 20%. The CV covers 20%, and the referees, they cover the grading. It all amounts to 10%. So if your statement of purpose is not giving me the punch, you don't give it the punch, then you don't really, you know, stand a chance at any opportunity. I mean, you know, even if it's
Yeah.
presented to you. So you need to take time to invest in that also. Don't empathize the process, you know. We don't, I mean, they don't want to hear, you know, your sad stories, you know,
The
these
problems,
stories. No, 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 no,
your
no, no.
humble
You tailor
background.
your statement of purpose in a way that it sells you. So
Yeah.
you, what skills do you have,
True.
and how did you acquire these skills, and what have these skills made you, and how,
Yeah.
what you intend to do with these skills. So
Yeah.
given this opportunity, you will hone these skills, and you even like learn more skills that will even equip you
Yeah.
for the next phase of your life career wise. So the statement of purpose, we shouldn't empathize the process. I remember I had one of I had like a side chat with one of the coordinators, and we were actually making fun of the statement of purpose we wrote ourselves. So
Right.
the current generation, and they were like, you know, some stories were like, they'll say
Stories. Yeah.
stories
Sad
of, or
stories.
people stories. Honestly, these days they
Yeah.
will just be discarded. So just
Absolutely.
tailor your statement of purpose in the right part, in the right way, and that way you'll be able to have a good score.
Yeah.
So I think
Fantastic.
uh,
Yes. So
that
I mean,
it.
huh?
Mhm.
Go ahead. Sorry, I almost cut you off.
Oh,
I
yeah,
believe.
yeah. I mean, yeah, and also don't procrastinate. Like when you start a process, just finish it. It
Yeah.
might be tedious. It might be tough, but just keep pushing. Like don't procrastinate. We have the tendency of, you know, "Ah, I'll do it the last minute, you know, during
Yeah.
before the deadline.
That's true.
That's when I'll do it. But do not do that. Just do it in time and finish it, and that way you'll be on the safe side.
Absolutely agreed with everything that you said, honestly, because this is something that has been, a thing that people do. Procrastination, not asking any questions, thinking that we have this culture of where we think coming abroad is has to go through an agent. The agent does everything for you. You just have to sit down and you get your application, and you just come abroad and think that things will be smooth, but the education system here is very different from what we have in Kenya. You really have to immerse yourself into all the books, the journals, the scientific papers, conference papers, etc. etc. There's a lot to do, obviously. So it's very important that you sell yourself as well, very well, on your statement of purpose, like you said. Really, your statement of purpose is your focal point on any particular application procedure, in any one of these programs, honestly speaking. So I do thank you for highlighting that, Kevin, for sure. And someone is asking how they can send questions to you. I believe that you have an official email. I don't know, or not yet. I don't know, but I don't know how people can reach out to you, Kevin.
Yeah, of course. Being the program representative, I think I have an email address. So and also you can be able to reach me via the email address. I think so.
Okay. If you could maybe let me know, and then I can type it on the comment section, and people can reach out to you over there. and ask you any questions that they may have, particularly for this international master in sustainable drug development. So I mean, I think it's been really really amazing having you and listening to you and listening to the experiences that you've had. I'm sure this is just like a tip of the iceberg. There's a lot that can be said about the experience that you've had so far, and I believe that this is something that is going to really elevate your career in the future. I don't know whether you want to pursue a PhD, maybe you want to work in Europe. Who knows? We don't know your your future plans, but I do believe that you do have a plan of where maybe you want to work eventually, or maybe you want to pursue certain other programs, or maybe other companies that you would potentially work with. I don't know what are your future plans, but just in conclusion, I don't know what is your parting shot for someone who's listening to you on this video and maybe is like, oh my god, I really 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 understand Kevin. I really really can put my shoes into Kevin's shoes as well. And I don't know what would you be your parting shot for someone who's listening to this and they're like, oh, when am I due for free, fully funded? How how is it? Someone who's a skeptic, we always have this thing that we have a lot of skepticism in Kenya. I guess we have been scammed too much. But for someone who's listening to you and is like, okay, yeah, maybe I also came from Moi University and I would like to study abroad, what would be the one thing that you tell them that would help them through this process, whether they are applying for Erasmus or any other program? Really, what is the one thing that you would want them to know?
uh, I think the thing I would like to just put across is very pretty simple. Dare to think, dare to dream,
Think. Yes. Okay.
dare to dream,
Okay.
and dare to think.
Right.
So this is actually I something a quote that I actually found very profound last year when I came to Belgium, and
Right.
it really triggered my mind. And that wouldn't have been possible if I did
Mhm.
not dare to dream.
Yes.
So what I would like to just put across, and maybe to encourage one who's listening from the other end, is dare to dream. I mean, dreams are valid, and
Yes.
these are things that we really don't even think about. Like you ask someone, so what do you dream? What are your dreams? They'll be like, it will be like the previous years when you're like, you're starting up. Oh, I want to be an engineer. I want to be eventually you end up being
Mechanic or
they say a foreman. Yeah.
yeah.
So really dare to dream. I dreamt, and I dreamt big.
Right.
When I was back in my bachelor's, I saw myself. Okay, I would say my life it's a testimony when we go to the other side.
Yeah.
So I saw myself in Ghent
Yeah.
when I was in my bachelor's,
Okay.
and I actually dared to dream big. And this is something that I also it goes back, dates back when I was growing up,
Right.
and I wanted to do a master's, I wanted to do a PhD, and I wanted to to actually even be a professor.
Right.
So it's something that I dreamt about,
Yeah.
something that I put the effort,
Yes.
because when I was in my bachelor's and I saw myself here, it actually gave me the motivation to actually do better, because
Right.
the grades the grades are something that can really take you far.
Yeah.
Education can take you far.
Yeah.
So when you dare to dream, you put in the effort.
Yes.
Trust me, things are going to work out in accordance to, the way you want them to go.
Absolutely.
Because opportunity strikes only once.
Yeah.
And as I said earlier on, is that, you know, fate meets destiny. So it was so I met my destiny because I dared to dream, and then the opportunity came at the
Yeah.
right moment.
Right.
So that way I was able to apply and get a shot, and there was
Yes.
no even second thought. It's just a go through and go through. So I would say just do your best in the application process. Don't give up.
Right.
and also be very precise.
Okay.
Choose the course that is very relevant
Yeah.
with your academic qualifications.
Right.
Because again, you don't want to put eggs in a basket where you know they will not hatch.
Ha. All right.
Yeah, so I think that would be my closing remarks.
All right. All right. I mean, that is an amazing place to leave it at. Like, don't put your eggs in a basket that they will not hatch. Obviously, so if you're far-fetching your skill set or your experiences, your background, and all these kind of things, then obviously you will not stand out as a good candidate, which is something that is very, very crucial to remember. Remember, nowadays, yes, you can apply for more than one program. You can apply for 3 programs or 4 programs, but obviously don't overstretch it. Obviously, depending on your skill sets as well as the experiences that you've had. Make sure that you're reading through, you're asking for help. This journey is definitely not, you're not supposed to go on it all alone. You can ask, and it's okay to ask for help. And Simon, I can see you asking here, what are the processes involved when one is making such applications? This is something that we have spoken about a lot, a lot, a lot. So if you can go backwards on this video, you can be able to get a glimpse of how to apply for this particular Erasmus Masters. However, if you want to know more information, you can also check out any other video that is on this particular channel, and also join in the group, the Erasmus Kenyan chapter. Just you can check for information really that I've shared there quite a lot, and be able to see exactly what you can do for you to apply. The first place to check is definitely the catalog. I will tell you for free, so make sure that you can go through the catalog first and then be able to see exactly what program that you would want to apply in the future. Now I want to leave it at that because it's been quite the discussion here, so, and I would hope that maybe this discussion continues. It doesn't just stop here, and maybe we can have you again once again on this channel when it's not a Friday, when everybody is here, because it's Friday evening. Everyone is like, you know what, no more being on the computer sitting listening. No, but I mean, obviously I'm very, very grateful that you took your time to come on this channel and speak about your experience, the application procedures, and what you've been up to. I would really want to wish you all the very best even in the future, and maybe we can call you Professor Kevin Kimaiyo in the future. I don't know.
Professor Kimaiyo.
Okay, Professor Kimaiyo it is. Sorry. So anyways, it's been amazing hanging out with you, obviously, guys. If you're listening to this much later, feel free to reach out to Kevin. I have left a comment for his email, and you can reach out to him in case you need any type of help. Please be very respectful again of his time. He's still a student, so make sure that you can tell him exactly what you want. Don't just say hi. Come on, guys. What I say on this channel, just be
The
very.
highs are never replied to.
I never reply to the hi. So, be very respectful of his time as well. So it's been amazing. You have a very good afternoon, good evening, good morning if you're listening to this much later. And feel free to interact with this channel much later. And I will say goodbye for now.
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe just one last thing. The application window is actually open, so they can send in. You can send in your applications from wherever you are.
Yeah.
You can check and apply. It's really open up to around maybe December, I think.
Yeah,
So
we spoke about this.
send
It
in your
was
application.
until 1st of December that it's open for Erasmus Plus scholarship. So, but if you are beyond that deadline, then you can go for a self-funded opportunity. But I do hope that you can shoot your shot if you're listening to this, obviously. So, I will wish you all the very best. And until next time, please stay tuned, stay subscribed as usual, and I'll see you next time. Bye.